Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our Motley Mystic Monday moment. I'm Candace Shalou, also known as the Motley Mystic, and I'm here every Monday trying to offer you some spiritual tools and some tips and some ways that you can go deeper in your own spiritual growth and expansion. And I'm hoping that I'm giving you these practical tools that can help you become the higher divine self that you already are, so you can touch that place within yourself where your divinity resides and you can transcend a lot of this ego stuff that tries to limit us and keep us down. And so today I want to talk about two kinds of fear and how both of these fears can help us move into that higher divine self, and transcend the ego and become that light of the world that we truly are. And so the two fears that I'm going to talk about come from this book. Uh, Tara Moore has a book called Playing Big. And this is where I read about these two different kinds of fear that are talked about in the Hebrew scriptures. And they are called Pashad, that's Pachad, for those who want to look it up later, Pashad, and Yaira, which is spelled Yirah, Yirah, Yaira. So Pashad is what we're really familiar with when we get into fight or flight situations. This is that fear of, oh my God, what's going to happen next? I have no idea. And we're feeling physically threatened. We're feeling like whatever is coming at us could really do us harm. And so we are afraid of what might happen, even if it's just in the immediate future, or even if it's far down the road. So this is that fear of what might happen. And then there is Yaira. And that is the fear that you feel when you approach something in your life that makes you feel like in awe of something. So there might be an opportunity, and it offers you an expansion. It offers you a way to grow spiritually. It offers a way to help you grow mentally or physically or even financially. It is that fear of infinite possibilities. It's that fear of, what if I step out and this works? Or even, what if I step out and this fails? But it is an invitation. This fear is an invitation to transcend your ego. And so your ego doesn't like Pashad because it feels like it's going to be wounded, and it really hates Yaira because it knows that if you go through that Yaira awe sensation of just the awesome possibilities that are before you, you will completely obliterate its influence over you. So it likes these two fears, but it hates Yaira the most. And so just a couple of quick examples. I got a Yaira, or no, let's go with the Pashad fear. A few years ago, I was out walking my dogs, and an older gentleman who lived down the street from me, this bigger dog that he owned, had gotten loose. And he was telling me the dog's on the loose and we don't know where he is. But suddenly the dog appears just right in the middle of the road and sees me and my two dogs talking to its owner. And so it just charges at us. And I'm just in terror of this dog that is charging at me and my two dogs. And I'm trying to figure out what to do. And I always carry a walking stick. And just as the dog approached, I just whacked that walking stick on the ground just to distract it, to snap it out of its focus on me. And it worked. The dog just veered off to the side, and I realized that one of my German Shepherd had been circling me. So I looked down. I'm trying to make my getaway, and I looked down, and she had been circling me, and I'm completely wrapped up in her leash. My legs are wrapped up. So finally, I freed myself. The owner of the dog was trying to chase him and capture him, but we ran, and I spent the next 2 hours trying to get my heart rate down, trying to calm down and not stroke out because I was in that grip of fear of fight or flight. I didn't want to fight. I wanted to run, and I finally was able to. But I was a fear of what might happen. And so that Yaira fear that I have encountered was about 11 years ago when we were thinking of, or the idea came up to begin Jubilee Circle, the spiritual community that I lead here in Columbia, South Carolina. And I kept hemming and hawing, and people kept telling me, you got to start this, you got to start this. And finally, one of my biggest supporters at the time said, well, what's stopping you? Well, fear mainly. That was what was stopping me. But it was a different kind of fear than that fight or flight. It was this fear of something that I might be used to create that was beyond me, that there was something bigger than me in this fear. Would I be successful? Could I be a good leader? Would people come? Who knows? But there were these infinite possibilities of what we could make this from this community. And 11 years later, we're still working through those infinite possibilities, and we've got new ideas coming up. So that's the Yaira sort of fear. So the Pashad sort of contracts you, and Yaira opens you up. It's an expansive sort of feeling. But both of these fears, both Pashad and Yaira, can put us right in separation, because I felt separated. I felt very unsafe. I was on my own, in that moment with the dog charging at me. And I also felt I was on my own in that Yaira. I'm like, "Oh, how am I going to make this happen?" I was putting this all on myself for some reason. And I told this story in my sermon yesterday at Jubilee Circle about the waves. There's this small wave and this large wave, and they're in the ocean together. And the large wave starts to get very depressed and very fearful, and the smaller wave says, "What's wrong, man? What's going on?" And the larger wave says, "Oh, I can't tell you. If I told you, you would be so afraid. You would not be enjoying your life as a wave." And the smaller wave says, "Come on, tell me what's going on." And finally, the bigger wave says, "I can see just not too far from here, there is a shore, and all of the waves are crashing onto the shore. We are going to be obliterated. We will no longer exist in just a few minutes." And the smaller wave says, "Well, I can make you happy in just 6 words." And the bigger wave is like, "Right, you little pipsqueak, gonna make me happy." And he says, "No, I swear, if you'll just let me tell you these 6 words." And finally, the bigger wave relents and says, "Sure, go ahead, whatever. What are they?" And the smaller wave says, "You're the water. You're not the wave." And that's what it is. We are not alone. There is no separation. In those moments of fear, we feel like we're on our own in this big bad world, like the shore is coming and we're going to be obliterated. But we are not the wave. We are the water. We are the essence of all that is. And so when that fear arises and makes us feel separate, that's when we need to remember who we truly are. We are the light of the world. We are the water. We are not the wave. We're not our ego. We're not our bodies. We're not what we do or what successes we have in this world out around us. We are the expansive universe. And so we can experience this like the larger wave. We can have this moment of revelation, and that can inspire the Yaira in us, because Yaira really is just an invitation to expand. It is a revelation, and we can experience what A Course in Miracles calls a complete but temporary suspension of doubt and fear whenever we get into that moment of awe. And in that moment, we are reunited with ourselves. We are reunited with God and others in unity, because we know we're the water, we're not the wave. It's hard to talk about those experiences. People kind of look at you funny when you realize that. So instead, we need to be taking action. We need to go toward our expansion, even if it causes us to be fearful. We are God's perfect creation, the Course says. And when we encounter that awe that Yaira can inspire within us, a miracle is afoot. Only if we take action, though. You can sit around and talk an idea to death, but if you go ahead and step out, despite your fear, and do what is calling to you, that's when the miracles start to occur. But we don't like these fears because fear makes us uncomfortable, right? And both of these fears have their discomfort, but they have different ways. Pashad feels really restrictive in your body. It makes you kind of want to curl up in a ball and protect yourself, because it's that fight or flight kind of idea. Yaira, though, it feels expansive. That's what's frightening about it, because you just see everything out there that could be bigger than you. This is not about you. This is about you creating something in the world that changes the world, that makes the world a better place, that makes people come together and realize their own separation is not real. I have adopted a new slogan to this. There is on Facebook, look it up. There is a fabulous comic strip called Strange Planet, written by Nathan Pyle, I believe his name is Pyle. Look him up because it's really very funny, and he has it's all about aliens. It's like these aliens have come to Earth, but they have a very specific way of speaking. They speak very literally, and so one of them is in the gym and asks the other one to spot him on the weights. And at the end, instead of saying "no pain, no gain," what one of the aliens says is "no discomfort, no expansion." And that's the slogan for these two types of fear. If you are not willing to feel the discomfort, you will not receive the expansion. So when you find yourself in this fear, notice which one you are in. Are you constricting? Does it make you want to run and hide? Or does it make you think, wow, some of these things that could happen, I want to be part of that. So notice that. Notice that. I felt compassion for this older man who was outmatched by his dog. That was a unifying moment for me. And I felt compassion for my own fear of failure or abandonment when I was trying to start Jubilee Circle, but those haven't been borne out. I've found love and support and a sense of community, and we've been in existence for 11 years. That's a success, and we're helping people. We're helping transform this community. So I invite you. And that's only because I stepped into these fears. I felt them. I felt the discomfort. But then I felt the expansion because I took action. I didn't talk any of this to death. I went and did it. So feel the fear and act, especially that Yaira fear that draws you forward into your own expansion. So I invite you this week, whenever you're experiencing fear, notice it in your body. Notice how it makes you feel. If it makes you feel contracted, does it make your stomach knot up? Or does it make you feel expansive? Does it make your heart yearn in ways that you have never felt before? Does it fill you with excitement at what could unfold or emerge from your own life? And even if you find yourself in that constrictive, pashad kind of fear, there's still a moment of presence, still a moment of right now that is available to you, that you can transform that pashad into Yaira and then into creative action that manifests your dreams in the world and even beyond what you can imagine if you allow Holy Spirit to move it forward. So try it this week, folks. Sit with your fear. Let it tell you about itself and move from those feelings of constriction and avoidance into that present moment and imagine all of the infinite possibilities that lay before you when you transition to that Yaira fear, that awe, that knowledge that you are a perfect creation being used by a perfect creator to bring more love into the world. That, my friends, is what we are here for as motley mystics. And I like this Pema Chodron quote from the Buddhist monk Pema Chodron. She says, we can make ourselves miserable or we can make ourselves strong. The amount of effort is the same. And so how we make ourselves strong is to feel the fear and take action. How we make ourselves miserable is to feel the fear and shrink away from what is inviting us to expand, what is inviting us, what is trying to emerge out of us to make this world a better place. All right. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today for our Monday Motley Mystic moment to get your week started off in a good way. And if you would like more of the Motley Mystic, you're welcome to subscribe over at my blog. That is over at motleymystic.substack.com. There are 2 tiers of membership there. You can sign up for free. You get a lot of great stuff like this and some other articles and blog posts throughout the week. If you sign up for the paid subscription, you get all the free stuff, but you also get a chance to read my book in progress, my new book called Living in the Great Wide Open. And it's all about how to remain open, how to keep our hearts open, even as the ego and the world and society tells us we have to close down and protect ourselves. It really is about that Pashad and Yaira, because Pashad wants us to close down. Yaira says, open up. So I'm inviting you this week, all my Motley Mystic fans, open up this week. Open up your heart. Feel that Yaira fear. Go forward, and you'll be amazed at what emerges out of your life. And if you try this and you have any results that you want to share, any experiences you want to share, please do so below this video, or send me an email at candace@motley.mystic.com. I would love to hear from you if you have any questions or anything that you would like me to talk about in future Motley Mystic Monday moments. Pass that along as well. Thank you so much for joining me on this Monday afternoon, and I hope you have a lovely, lovely day and lovely week, and we'll see you again soon. MotleyMystic.substack.com. One more time. Have a great day.